The wind was starting to pick up, dark clouds roll in. The rain started lightly, but then it started to be pellets, and then even at an angle it was coming at them. They were pretty far from the shore, so this looked like trouble. Their sail was flapping helplessly in the wind, and now the waves started to hit their boat. It was a small fishing boat, and the waves, as they crashed, started to pour into the boat, and they're bailing as fast as they can. This is trouble. How long is this storm going to go on? Are they going to be able to make it? There was panic and fear in their voices as they were shouting to each other. And so the disciples said, "We need to get Jesus." And so, "Jesus, where are you? You're our leader. You got to get us out of this situation." Where was Jesus? Well, they looked, and he was in the back of the boat, asleep on a cushion. They were in the midst of a crisis, a windstorm, and he was asleep. Didn't he see that this was an emergency? Why wasn't he doing something? There's something about that specific detail I am drawn to. Jesus is in the back of the boat, asleep on a cushion. Can you imagine? Can you visualize him there in your mind's eye? Maybe he's laying down on a bench, maybe curled up, a head on a colored pillow. And all around him is chaos, right? A storm and shouting disciples and water coming in. And there's Jesus asleep. Why did he have to take a nap in the middle of the day? Why was he so tired? Was it too many late night conversations with people? Was he just so exhausted from giving himself in being the Messiah? Or maybe he just wasn't as worried about the fix they were in. But the danger was real. The Sea of Galilee, it's a lake with these hills around it, and the storms come in fast, and they are not good for a little fishing vessel. The disciples needed action. And their exact words from the gospel today, the exact words they said to Jesus are, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" Can you sense the concern? Maybe even the resentment? Why are you asleep in our time of need? Don't you care? This question about divine care and divine sleep has been asked by others. In our psalm today, enemies are closing in, and the psalmist is in trouble. And so the psalmist cries out to God, "Why do you sleep, O Lord? Wake up. Do not cast us off forever." The psalmist declares that God in the past has done wonderful things, so why not now? That's some of the frustration. God, we expect you to act. You've helped us in the past, but right now things are bad, and you're not acting and fixing this circumstance. Jesus, why are you napping? God, why are you asleep? Do you not care that we are perishing? An early Christian symbol for the church was a boat. And the technical term for the area the congregation sits is called the nave, and that's the Latin word for ship. And sometimes a little bit here at the top, when you look at the top of a church, it can look like an upside down boat. So people were making the connections with the church and boats. When Mark's gospel was written, persecution was on the rise. Christians were being arrested and dragged away. And so certainly a question on their mind was, Jesus, our boat is rocking and water is coming on board. Where are you? Are you asleep? This week in Louisville, Kentucky, our General Convention of the Episcopal Church is meeting. This is the gathering from people across the nation to come together and decide some of the future of our denomination. Now, our church doesn't have persecution, but the Episcopal Church is seeing some stormy times. We are struggling with decline in numbers and influence, fewer young people coming to church. We have our share of controversies. We have misbehaving bishops. The church is getting tossed around a bit like a boat in a storm. We're praying, we're trying to be faithful. And a question might be in the back of our minds, God, don't you see how hard we're working? Can't you grow our congregations? Does the church not matter to you? Where are you, Jesus? Why aren't you fixing things? Personally, we also might know storms in life, job loss and crisis, divisions, intractable problems in our society. How long will this go on? Our boat is rocking. We're taking on water. Where are you, God? Are you asleep? Now, we don't want to overlook the second half of the gospel story today, right? We've got some good news. Jesus does act in this story. He wakes up and he acts in spectacular fashion. He stills the storm. This is the power of Christ over storms and demons and illness and death. In chaotic waters, Christ can bring calm. But maybe not in the way we might expect. I mean, he doesn't steer the boat to the shore, which is kind of what you would think he would do, or help bail out. No, he actually influences nature. He does more powerful action than anyone would thought. The timing and the way he does it is not how we might expect, but he defeats chaos nonetheless. That's the good news. But we might ask the question, why did he allow the storm in the first place? I don't have an answer to that. I wish I did. Why do fearful, unpredictable storms come at all? Why does it take so long to fix certain situations? We're good people. Why are we not protected from harms and threats? God doesn't stop every bad act, doesn't prevent every injustice. God doesn't block threatening storms from happening. We know that. It seems like some of the trick is to try to hang on to faith when you're in the middle of a storm. I have to admit that can be hard to do because there's a lot to worry about. We're invited, you and I, especially on a Sunday morning, to try to remember how much God cares for us. That we do have a God of rescue and salvation. It may not be in the way or the timing we might want. We try to trust that the storm we are in is not the last word, that there's something deeper going on. We proclaim a presence, a spirit that is alive in the world, so we hang on and call out, knowing that ultimately Jesus will bring calm and will never forget us.